Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers and sisters. I am Brother Mikā'īl, and I hope you're having a wonderful day today. It is Thursday. We have a wonderful live stream with a wonderful guest here, with a guest appearance from our brother Zeeshan, who is now known as the Real Soldier of Allah. He was formerly known as the Money Prince, but alhamdulillah, he changed his name. So I'm going to pass it over to him, and he can introduce himself. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam. Yeah, I'm good. So for people that don't know me, I am formerly the Money Prince. You probably saw me before. I think someone did comment about my name. I'll go into that in a minute, but I did change it to the Real Soldier of Allah. And I can explain now why I've changed it anyway. We can go straight into that. Generally before, the only reason I kept that name was because I felt like I was holding on to like some string, mainly from people, because I went to college about 2 months ago, and everyone knew about my YouTube channel then. And I did different content then. I did more self-improvement, and I would admittedly say now that I was a bit ashamed about doing Islamic content, mainly because of the environment. When you're with not a lot of non-Muslims, you don't know how they could react and whatnot. But now, being far from that, I'm realizing that, you know what, no one really cares. I don't care anymore. I completely changed it, and alhamdulillah, I completely changed my vision now, and I'm starting to go into more subjects and inshaAllah dive into more stuff that's more out there instead of hiding it.
MashaAllah, brother. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that, brother. That's like, when I talked to Brother Ibrahim, which of course I'm sure you know him. Shout out to Brother Ibrahim. Those who don't know him, but I'm sure you do, go check him out. Go subscribe to his page. First and foremost, of course, if you don't know Brother Zeeshan and you haven't heard of the Money Prince or his new name, the Real Soldier of Allah, please go follow his page and go subscribe to his page or his channel. He's an amazing brother, very, very knowledgeable for his age, and we're going to dive into all of that in a minute. But when I spoke to Brother Ibrahim about this, formerly known as Lord Bear, same thing. And when we changed our names, from our birth name that we were given since birth to an Islamic or Muslim name, right? He changed his from Matthew to Ibrahim. I changed mine from Michael to Mikā'īl. To us, it was like a phoenix being reborn. It was, like they say, when you revert or recite the Shahada, you are reborn. It is your rebirth. So that's how we felt, even more so when we changed our name. We were leaving the old us behind in the past. And, that us making that change to making our name was like the final push to like really, really make that solidify that. And I really respect the fact that you changed it. Honestly, I don't see there's not much more of a respectable name that you could have chosen. The soldier of Real Soldier of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's beautiful. Okay, that's beautiful. Let's dive right into it, bro. So, as he said, he formerly known as the Money Prince. Before I continue, actually, we'll save that for a little bit further on. Just in the beginning, I want you to introduce yourself to everybody. So we'll start off with, how old you are, where you're from, what's your background. It's one at a time, I guess. How old are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm 19 years old.
Okay, and whereabouts are you from?
I'm from a place called Essex, so it's about an hour away from London in the UK.
Okay, mashallah. Yeah, I've heard of Essex. It's funny to me because every time I talk to someone from Essex, they're like, yeah, can't you tell I'm from Essex with my accent? I'm like, bro, honestly, when I hear a British accent, it's British, and that's like,
yeah.
Of course, there's like there's the Cockney that's I can notice that difference, and the UK difference, of course, between Scottish and English or British and Irish. I can tell the difference. But wa alaikum assalam to everybody who's hopping in the chat, and assalamu alaikum to everybody. So the next thing I was going to ask you is, what is your background and your heritage, right?
So I was born in the UK, but my heritage is in Pakistan. I also have bloodline in Saudi Arabia, but mainly I just align with Pakistan anyway.
MashaAllah, akhi. Yeah, that's what part of Pakistan are you from?
So my mum is from, I believe, Lahore, and then my father's from Lahore and my mother's from Gujarat.
MashaAllah. Yeah, so I'm just like I'm learning more about the geography of Pakistan as I get closer with more and more brothers. Like I have some of my closest friends since becoming Muslim and brothers are from all over Pakistan. You know, Islamabad, Karachi, Lahore, and Lahore it's like right on the border of India, right?
I think so, yeah. I have to be honest, I'm not the best with geography when it comes to Pakistan either, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been?
Yeah, I've been. I actually went back in February of this year.
Okay. And, you know, I think I mentioned it to you when I was on your channel, but I have plans with one of my very close friends, one of the brothers. You know, I'd say... I was hoping in about like 11 months, but it might be a little more than a year to make the trip to Pakistan with him. He's going to visit family, and the plan is for us to be there for like 3 weeks to a month. So he's going to take me. He's from Islamabad, so we're going to go there. Then he has cousins in Karachi, so we're going to go there as well. And he's going to take me through like the mountains and of course, all places where he can take me safely. That's what he said. But I really look forward to it. I love experiencing different cultures, and I really like Pakistani cuisine. Right, is very spicy, and I love spicy food. As an Italian, I love spicy food. So you know, the first time I had biryani was, you know, I fell in love with it. Right, fell in love with it, and then you have to know what is the Oh man, I was just talking to somebody about this. You know, I buy them all the time, and I can't remember the I want to call them jalebi. Is that right?
Jalebi, yeah.
The little like kind of
yeah.
So good, bro. I love those. Like I swear I could eat like there's a place down the street from me that they like make them homemade there, and they sell them in these like little bins. Bro, I can eat like 2 bins if I really didn't stop myself in one sitting. Like, they're so good. All right.
Yeah.
So, you know, the what I really wanted to dive into in our live stream is, you know, yes, the introducing my viewers, you know, to you, introducing people who haven't heard of you to you more, and I want to also talk about, you know, modern Islam to you, since you were raised Muslim, you know, and I want to dive into your past, how you were brought up, so on and so and so forth. So, are you an only child? Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have 4 siblings, so 6 in total, including myself.
MashaAllah. Yeah. Okay, so that's beautiful. So that was going to be my next question: is growing up, were you brought up in a very, you know, were you brought up in a very tight family? You know, from my experience so far since becoming Muslim and being around other brothers and their families, you know, the way I was brought up in Italian culture, Muslim and Islamic culture is very, very similar, you know, very close family, you know, structure. Were you brought up this way?
Yeah, we were quite close. I would obviously now is a bit different as people get older, but I was quite close to my cousins. Like they would come every weekend or so, and we all get together, and we would just, you know, just hang out, and that's how it really was. Like we were all very, very close.
MashaAllah. See, I love that, man. I love that. So like growing up for like the holidays and stuff like this, you were, you know, you were always, was it like a big family kind of get together for the holidays?
Kind of. I mean, when I was a bit younger, it was more, and we would normally go to like my cousin's house, specifically my cousin's house, every Saturday, and then we would all go to as a family and just hang out with cousins and just get together. That's how it was there.
That makes me so happy, bro. Like you can see the smile on my face. I really love that family structure, and it makes me not only happy and proud as an Italian because that's how I was raised, but more than anything as a Muslim, right? Because that is like the essence of. That's one of the biggest things that we're taught is, our family, our parents. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's, we're very close as Muslims. So I love that. The more I learn about Islam, and I love hearing it from brothers who've been raised in it like you. So the next question that I want to ask you, right? Since I first found your channel, and since I've been introduced to you and we started talking, I have to say, for somebody who is only 19, and I told you this, right? I thought you were my age. I thought you were like 31 years old, at least 30. And the fact you're 19, it is like, bro, it's mind blowing because you have this. What people always told me when I was younger, and I still get, is you are an old soul. And I'm sure have you heard this before?
Yes, yeah, old head, yeah.
Yeah, you most definitely are. The way you hold yourself, everything, bro. And this is a good thing, Yeah, see, Sister Angela is like, what? He's 19? Bro, I told you. You hold yourself. You're very mature and professional, and it comes with being around people who are older than you, and alhamdulillah, brother. That's wonderful. So, I'm explaining this right now because ever since I was introduced to your channel and any video that I watched of yours, you express so much strength in your deen, so much intelligence, not just for somebody who's 19, but for anybody. Like you have a very strong deen. So I say this because this is the next question. Have you always been this strong in your deen, and you could be 100% honest. I've talked to many brothers and sisters, and I'm sure you have too, that they started to get stronger in their deen as of the past few years. Although they were raised in it, they slacked in it as they were growing up. So I want to hear your upbringing. I want to hear about you and your story through Islam.
Right. So I would say, I think confidently, about even 2-3 years ago, I properly started getting to my deen. Even then, growing up, I was, as they say, Muslim by culture. I don't know if you heard about that. Yeah,
yes,
it's just
I have.
Yeah. So that's how it was for me, really. Personally, I actually was sent. Like my parents never forced me to pray or anything like that. They wanted it to become natural for me to have a natural attraction to the religion, and they put me into schools to learn the Quran. And at the time, when you're younger, you're quite ignorant. And at the time, I didn't want to go. I would make up excuses. I would say I'm ill sometimes, and it eventually went to a point where I regret now, because as you get older, you start to realize the blessings of it. But when you're younger, you don't realize that, oh gosh, why did I do this? But alhamdulillah, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been a strong Muslim now. But I try to avoid the mosque as much as possible. And it was a really weird one, because I still believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it was just, as I said before, Muslim by culture. So with that in mind, I also grew up in a predominantly, I would say, a white area. So with a lot of other people around you who are non-Muslim, especially with the schools that you grew up in, that can take a toll with a lot of influence. Like a lot of friends that I grew up with now, I mean, I've heard some stories now, which is insane to think about, but how far they've gone down that path. And I would imagine when I was younger that I'll be friends with them forever. But then obviously that's just the child's fantasy until you get older and you start to realize. But alhamdulillah, I'm not friends with them now because of what path they're in. And it's quite shocking, because you get into this, like, what do they call it? Imposter syndrome, where you feel like, why am I the one that's chosen? rather than anyone else around you that you grew up with? Why aren't they closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why haven't they accepted Islam? So you get into this mindset like that. And yeah, growing up, I didn't even know, I have to be honest, I didn't even know how to pray until I was 16. And that's only a couple of years ago. So I really didn't, I was never really interested in it until I grew much older. But yeah, that's how it was growing up, you know, because generally when, as I said before, when you grow up with non-Muslims, they can take a lot of control. And yeah, that's how it really was growing up.
MashaAllah. Yes, that's, you know, just about, bro, every single person, you know, every fellow brother or sister that I've done a live stream with, and that whenever we get to the subject, it all seems to be the same, not the same, but we all seem to reach a point where, you know, we, through a bunch of struggle and hardship and, you know, how do I say? Yeah, really hardship with our understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of God,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever you were raised in. For most of those listening, and for you, you know, that were raised in Islam. For me, of course, I was raised in Catholicism and then reverted to Islam. But we all go through this hardship, and through that, it makes us stronger as a Muslim and stronger in our deen. So alhamdulillah, that's really beautiful, mashallah. It excites me to hear that, bro, you know, because when I, like I said, when I listen to you, for somebody who's only 19, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk about the deen, mashallah, you know, you make me and motivate me to work harder. You make me want to become a better Muslim. So Jazakallahu khairan for that. And of course, Jazakallahu khairan for being here, brother. Thank you so much for being on the stream.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that I guess we'll get to this question right now, because, you know, I've seen it pop up a couple times already. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, as far as when you chose the name The Money Prince, and, you know, what I keep seeing pop up, was your channel prior to, you know, as of lately, you've been focusing more so, if not mainly, on Islam and, you know, things that stay within our deen. And I mean, I'd say that you always, all the stuff that you posted stays within the deen, but it is all Islamic, so to speak. Now,
yeah.
Or so in the past, were you focused on financial things? Were you teaching were you teaching finances or anything like this?
Right. So a lot of people think about that when they think of the name, that I'm talking about finance a lot. And I never really went into finance. It was actually, the original name was because when I was younger, I was into music, and it was originally derived from like a music name. And my channel actually started off as a music channel before I deleted all the music, and that's why The Money Prince was there. So it was always in the back of my mind to change it.
MashaAllah. Okay. So it's kind of like Prince, the you know, of course everybody knows.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And that kind of just clicked in your head. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I understand. So, yeah, I guess, I mean, while we're on the subject, I might as well, I'm going to jump around here, but while we're on the subject, let's dive into this. You know, right now, I know you mentioned that you were in college, so you were in college, but what I found out is actually different in the UK than here in the US, is that college here is university, right? We call college and university, that's the same thing, okay?
Right.
Because you can go to somewhere like Rhode Island College, but you could go to University of Rhode Island. They're the same thing, right? Or not the same thing, but they're all college and university. So there's here, it is, you know, kindergarten, then elementary school, then middle school, then high school, and then college or university, and that's it. So when you say you just finished college, you're talking about you just finished high school, correct?
It's kind of high school, yeah. It'll be American high school, yeah.
Okay.
So definitely, yeah.
Okay. So as of the moment, you're at university?
No, at the moment, I'm not in uni. So how it works is that I left secondary school, which would be elementary, kind of.
Okay.
I think a mix of elementary and high school. So that's from 12 to 16, I believe. And then from there, you're given the freedom to either stay extra 2 years at high school or go into college or go into work because you finish your compulsory education in the UK because you have compulsory education over here. So I ended up going to college for 2 years. So at the moment, I actually rejected going to university mainly because one big thing was because of the interest behind it. I was completely turned off from even going to it anymore because of the interest.
Understandable.
It was just too much.
Yep.
And also of the insane fitna that I heard from people around me about it. Like it was like Allah was trying to tell me, never go here, just don't go here. Because I've experienced enough at college already. Like honestly, the stuff I've seen is like made up stories, you know, it's like something you'll make up. It's honestly unbelievable how insane this generation is. Honestly,
that's for sure, bro. That's for sure, man. It's, you know, as we hear all the time, it's like the age of degeneracy, right? And now I want to say, like, all right. So first off, I completely agree with you that, you know, the debt that you get into from going to university with college loans or university loans, I guess you would say, right? You know, for us, it's college loans. You know, it took me, I don't want to say years, but it took me quite a while to pay it off, right?
Right.
It was years. It took me quite a while to pay it off. And, you know, then you fall into, if you miss one of your payments, then you start messing up your credit and things start adding up, right? And piling up. So when it comes to this, right, and I think about this all the time, right? I have friends who, you know, actually they dropped out of high school and dropped out of high school. Like I actually finished high school, although I moved out of the house when I was young, when I was still in high school at 16. You know, I have friends that dropped out freshman year of high school, which is 9th grade, right? And these guys are now some of the wealthiest people that I know. Literally, some of the wealthiest people I know, right? They didn't go to college. They didn't take out loans. They didn't fall into the debt that a bunch of us who went away to university or college did, right? Now, this is a topic that I've been seeing and hearing and talking about a lot lately is, you know, the issue with school and the issue with not just school, but when you talk to people, especially like your generation, I'd even say like some of my generation, you know, you speak to people and you can just see the pure ignorance, right? The, of course, arrogance, but legitimate, like stupidity, bro. Like I've never, like I talk to people and I just sit there in awe in my head, like, bro, is it really this possible that you have zero common sense that somebody can be this stupid? It truly, I don't understand this, right? And I'm not trying to talk, like, I'm not talking about anybody in particular right now. I'm just saying as a whole. So although I hate and I disagree with the topics that are spoken about in like what they teach us in school, I think is just straight propaganda, right? It's a bunch of nonsense. No matter which country you go to, right? What is being taught to you, like my cousins in Italy and my cousins in Ireland, you know, what they're being taught as far as historically and on history side is the complete opposite from what I'm taught here and probably different from what you're taught, right?
Right.
They are all to make the country that we live in look the strongest and most ferocious, right? And when you get to the bottom of it, it's just like, okay, well, why are there not classes that are teaching us, you know, how to become wealthy, successful, father figures or successful fathers or successful husbands and stuff like this, right? It's just like, it blows my mind, right? So there's that side of it. And then there's also the same side that I see these kids who, like your generation, you guys have been born with all of electronics in your hands since you were born, right? I think my generation was the last generation that like we played outside. Like we would run in circles from the age of, I don't know, whenever I was born till like 11, 12 years old. I don't see that anymore. I don't see kids outside playing, bro. They're all inside. Or if they're outside, they're walking with their phones like this. It doesn't happen today, bro. So, and somebody, Brother Miswak, he said it, that it's like slavery. It like is literally, and I heard somebody say this, it's called a cell phone for a reason, because you are in a cell, bro. You are in a cell, literally, right? It has you imprisoned. And it's, I forget who else. I was watching something the other day, and it was a short, and it was about somebody. Somebody was saying, it was like along the same lines, and they were like, you think about it, right? People who sit there with their phone in their hand, and most of us, a lot of us today, especially us who are on social media, like, you're a YouTuber as well as I am. A lot of the time, right? You think about it, your phone's in your hand all the time. And most time, most people do it is like this with two hands, right? And they're like this. What does that look like when you're like this? It's almost like you're praying to the damn phone. Astaghfirullah, right?
Yeah.
When I heard that concept, I was like, bro, I like dropped my phone instantly. I was like, yo, I need to get off my phone instantly, bro. So this whole concept, bro, it saddens me really that, I feel like there's so many people that talk poorly about reading, and I cannot tell you how essential just reading, just like the basics, just reading and simple math can take you, right? Like your brain is a muscle just like everything else. If you're into exercising like me, right, you work out, right? So you need to do the same thing with your brain to get strong. I know I'm not saying this to you. I know you understand this, right? I know you're intelligent. But for me, I feel like when I've not only felt myself grow in intelligence, but, not spiritually especially, was when I really, truly started reading the Quran, right? The Quran is just the answer to me for everything. So, I know we kind of went off a little bit off topic there, but I want to hop back into this with you, right? So, growing up, you briefly touched on this. Hold on one second. So, growing up, right? Your parents, you kind of touched on the fact that, your parents didn't necessarily force you into, they brought you up in Islam, but they did not make you pray. They did not force you to pray. They wanted you to come to it on your own accord, right? So with that being said, although that they were this way, of course, they taught you sujood, they taught you how to pray, they taught they taught you this, right?
No, I actually learned all of that by myself.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, you just said that you learned how to pray.
It's fine.
So the things that what I'm getting at is they did raise you in Islam. What ways did they raise you in Islam? As me, as somebody who is, a couple months away, or probably less than, close to getting married, and with the wife to be, close to getting married, and future family and children down the line, I want to learn the ways to, the best ways I can to raise my children in Islam, to, whether it is reciting the Quran to them while they are in their baby crib, through everything, like literally everything. So I like to hear from brothers and sisters who are raised Muslim, how they were raised in Islam, how they were taught. So I'd like to hear about it, brother.
Right. So the way that I was taught with Islam is, it was, I would say, it was mainly like they taught me Islamically. They told me about obviously that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the one and true God. They taught me about this, but the only things they never, I would say, pushed me to do was pray. But they did push me to read the Quran. I have to say, they would constantly send me to mosques to try and learn it, even though it took me a while for me to get it. But they tried with that, and I think with that method, it can work for some people, but for me, I was very lucky that it worked with me, because I know people who are raised with that method, and unfortunately, they're not as close to Islam anymore, or some others are quite close. It's very shaky, but I'm glad I was brought up that way, because I came to a self-realization myself that, okay, this is the truth. Because obviously, when you're raised up with your beliefs, you want to know, am I following the right belief? You look at different beliefs, and I was naturally magnetized to like a lot of these beliefs related to Islam anyway. I think I talked about before when I was talking about the self-improvement YouTubers and how most of them came to Islam anyway. I felt like me learning about those self-improvement YouTubers was a way of me coming closer to Islam.
Yes.
So it's amazing how Allah plans these things. It's just unbelievable.
He truly is the greatest planner, brother.
Yeah.
He truly is the greatest, man.
We plan, but what do we know? What do we know?
We're nothing. We're only the creation compared to the creator, you know.
Exactly.
When you talk about this, how you know you literally had to go all the way around to go to, you know, self-improvement YouTubers for it to bring you back to Islam.
Right.
That's how beautiful the power and the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, brother. Thank you for that.
Right.
You know, I wanted to say, okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi to everybody just joining. Yes, Brother Joe, Abdul Rahim McCarthy, Sheikh. Yes, he's a wonderful brother. I've watched his videos before. You know, he grew up a very rough upbringing as well. He's somebody that I would love to collab with, and he's somebody that I most definitely should reach out to. So, inshaAllah. So, yeah, brother, we'll move right along, man. That really that touched my heart hearing that, to be honest with you. And you know, it's so beautiful when, no matter how hard you may fight something, right? And you think that you may know what's best for yourself, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he truly knows what's best, right? And he's the one with the plan. So if once you truly realize that, and you completely put your, you know, what's the word I'm looking? You sacrifice your will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Mm-hmm. That is when I feel like you really feel the takeover, that you really feel the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your life. At least for me, I should speak for myself on that, you know. Alhamdulillah, brother. That's beautiful, mashallah. So, where were we at? Okay. His, you know, for you, right? So you grew up in Essex.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where you? Well, actually, you don't have to answer that. I don't want you to give away where you live now. But so you're in England. We'll just say that, right?
I'm in England. Yeah.
So from what I've noticed, you know, as far as all of the, like, I love watching the YouTube debates in Speaker's Corner, you know, with our Muslim brothers debating other brothers or sisters from other races. You know, I think it's, even though no matter how intelligent or how studied the, you know, this other brother or sister may be, from, you know, whether they're atheist, Satanist, from a Christian, Catholic, you know, from Judaism, no matter what it is, right? The way that Islam is explained, and you see the moment when these brothers from, you know, people of the book or atheists, what have you, you know, when that moment when they finally realize, like, wow, like you can see it in their eyes, like they just realize, like that moment right?
Right.
You know, the moment they screwed up, right? You see it in their eyes when they realize the fact that, wow, Islam is the truth. Although they don't want to admit it, you can see it in their eyes. And I remember when I still hadn't reverted yet, and I used to watch a lot of these Speaker's Corner videos, right? And it would blow my mind because it got me thinking in ways that I had never thought before. And a lot of times I had really started to realize, like, wow, Islam is the truth, right? It was from these videos. So I bring this up because I noticed through these videos, right, that there seems to be like a massive Islamic population or Islamic community in England or London. I'm not sure. Speaker's Corner is where? In London?
Yeah, yes, in London.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel stupid for asking that question, but I'm not from the
It's
UK,
fine. Don't worry about it.
So, you know, I ask this because I like to hear from all my brothers and sisters who I do live streams with, you know, how Islam is viewed where you were brought up, how you are looked at today as a fellow Muslim. You know, how do people look at you now where you are compared to when you were a kid growing up, or just in general? You know, how does the area you live in and the people in the area you live in view you as a Muslim and view Islam as a whole?
Right. I think I would say it's changed a lot in a more positive direction now, mainly because there's a lot of people moving to where I'm at the moment. And it is becoming, like, I would say, like London in a sense, with a lot of diversity. But I would say growing up, there was a lot of, like, way before my time, I would say, alhamdulillah, I was, you know, from my time anyway, leading up to now, a bit of it was kind of in that era. So there was a lot of racism around my area where I grew up. It was a lot. And as I grew up, it started to die down, but there's still that amount. But it wasn't to the point of craziness. But I imagine myself, sorry, not imagine myself, but I remember myself going to like a Catholic school, because I think I told you about me going to a Catholic school.
Oh yeah, you went to Catholic school too. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember going there because imagine this, you're going from because I went to a primary school, which is kind of like early middle school in a sense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
yes.
I went from there to straight to a Catholic school, so you can imagine the different mindset that I would expect. But I can tell you, this was the furthest thing from Catholic. Like, the worst of the worst that you can imagine people can say, they just said it. And it was just unbelievable, like, because it was an all-boys school as well. It was hectic. There was fights every second.
Yep.
Like, generally, I think that was the worst school around my area. I generally, and it was meant to be a good school. It was meant to be top rated by the people that come to expect it.
Yep. Yeah,
it's unbelievable, honestly. But yeah, going into that, even with that, there was just like, back then I would say, because you're younger, you don't really, I never really understood it that much, but there was a lot of Islamophobia there, a lot.
Yes.
And there was stuff that was said, but I didn't really take it in at that time, because I was young, you know, you're ignorant, so you think, oh, whatever, it's just people joking.
You think they're joking with you.
Yeah, exactly. And then as you get older, you realize, oh, if it happened today, it would be a very different scenario. But with that in mind, anyway, it's going into a more positive direction, but there is still a lot of, I would say, a lot of misconceptions over here, like a lot of places, because, as I said, this is still a majority white area. Most of my friends growing up were white. They never came back from most, like, different backgrounds. They were brought up in England. They had English parents, English families. So every time I would go to their house, you'll see their family and how they would construct their family. And I would think, like, it didn't make any sense, because I would see, like, them swearing to their parents, and I'll just be in my head. I can imagine even doing that, and then even if they were doing it in a joking way, it just didn't make any sense. And alhamdulillah, from the friends I made from the Catholic school, some were Muslim, and they're still my friends to this day because surprisingly, it's quite shocking, but they look older as well, and they have the exact same mindset, and it's just remarkable how we're still friends for this how many years. It's unbelievable, but yeah, I guess that's how it is at the moment. There's no, I would say there's hardly any dawah going around here, but I was thinking of probably doing that, but that's how it is at the moment.
What do you mean there's no dawah going on there?
What
about like guys like Hamza or anything? Well, that's London.
From my area, there is nothing at all. Like you go to like the town that everyone goes to, and there's no one. There is this guy though that holds up a repent to Jesus sign with a massive sign saying you'll go to hell, but that's it. That's the only person spreading anything, and it really got me thinking. Like, because I go to the mosque every Friday for Jummah, and I was thinking of asking them about possibly doing dawah around the area, because you know I've got some type of platform. If we can do something, then why not? We can inshallah try and spread Islam.
I mean, if you want to help out, you know, I don't know. I think I mentioned this to you. Well, I know I mentioned it to you about the last time. I'm pretty sure when I did the live stream with you that I had already created the Hajj and Umrah project. I created that.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So that if you want to also be somebody to help us, you know, spread the word on this, you know, I'll give you the link to it. Or I mean, you can take the link anyway. It's up on any of my videos for that, as well as I'm about to start putting out there more. One of the brothers that I'm very close with from the Masjid that, you know, I recited the Shahada that, well, my home, I guess I should say my home Masjid. That's the one I go to all the time, right? At the moment, it is like on Jummah, a lot of the times there's not even enough room for the men to pray, right? We're in a very small confined space. We have two sides, of course. The women's side, there's plenty of room for the women, but it's still small. And sometimes the women even have to stand, or like once. So what I mean is, once somebody's done praying, like on the men's side, we'll leave, and then the people who've been standing, they pray. It's I mean, really, it's first come, first serve. So at the moment, you know, not at the moment, it's been for like a year, even before I became Muslim, the brothers and the sheikh, you know, they've been looking for a new, you know, masjid, a new place for the home of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we finally found a place. It's a beautiful, beautiful place in a great area. It'll be like a straight dawah center, you know, it'll be a masjid, it will be room for everything. There'll be rooms to teach, you know, children, literally everything, like a gym, everything. It's a perfect space. So we finally finished, you know, we're in works with the brother who's selling the property, the man who's selling the property, and we finally finished creating the the GoFundMe project. Or they actually did it through something else. I have to get the link for that. Once I get it, I'm going to start pushing that. And if you want to help us out as well, you know, it would be massively appreciated. Plus, you, of course, also will get the benefits of, you know, carrying that. So, inshallah, you know, once that's ready, I would love to have you on board for that project as well. And I know the brother and the sheikhs from the Masjid, they would love to have you on board as well. And as still, even for the Hajj and Umrah project, you know, myself as well as the brothers who created it, we would love to have you on board. So if you want to spread that, it would be really appreciated too. So Jazakallahu khairan, brother, just, you know, for everything. We haven't, congrats on the new Masjid. We have not bought it yet. That's what we're trying to do. We're saving up for the Masjid. That's what we're working on. So we're just about spreading the word. I'll soon have the link for that, and that will be put below in the description of the videos, and I'll announce it when I do. Let's move.
Before we go into anything more, it's starting to go into Maghrib time right now. So let me just pray real quick, and then
do what you got to do, bro.
I'll come back.
Yeah, you can just leave it like this. All right, guys, give me one moment. I'll be right back. Brothers and sisters, we're just gonna wait for Brother Zeeshan to get back. Hold on, let me see. What is this? I missed what Joe said. Joe, he's in England. He's in Essex, so we're just waiting for him to get back. I know prayers coming up for me too. I have like an hour, so it's not coming up for me just yet. Yeah, I got another hour before it comes. But, you know, anyways, there was something that I did want to mention. And see if I can find this in here. But, you know, it's let me see. Before I lose my spot with where I was with him, because I need those questions. Okay, here we go. Here we are. You know, I want to say while he's away, you know, I got to go use the bathroom, so I'm going to go use the bathroom while we wait for him. But before I do, I just want to say, you know, as always, thank you guys. Jazakallahu khairan to everybody who's here, to all of you who support. And I also want to say, while we have people in here, we have a decent amount, I'm looking for people to be moderators. People have asked me before in the past, and I wasn't yet ready to do that. But now as the channel continues to grow, I need some people to moderate the chat. Any of you who are, you know, willing to do so, just, I don't know, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Say that, just let me know you'll want to do it, and I'll make you a moderator like that. Just looking for people to moderate because I don't want to have trolls interrupting the stream anymore. You know, astaghfirullah. We have people that come in wanting to, you know, try and put hatred towards Islam and stuff like this. It saddens me. That's fine, brother Amar. If you can't always be here, that's perfectly fine. I you know, just when you can be here to moderate, that's why. If we can get more people to do it, that way when some of you aren't here, the other ones are, and when they're not here, you are. So, Jazakallahu khairan, brother. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna make you a moderator right now. Let's see. I should be able to do it. Is that how I do it? I don't know. No, that's not how I do it. Yeah, I know. Miss Wack, you always pay attention. Hold on, I got to do it from here. Oh, Miss Wack, you always pay attention. Hold on. There we go. Joe Baz, what did you say? Did I bought being a Muslim? What do you mean? It manners, block words, change chat. All right, Miss Weck and Amar, you guys are moderators now. Joe Baz, what are you talking about right here, bro? I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. What do you mean by that? Did I bought being a Muslim? I have no idea what you're saying, bro. Did I buy Islam? Is it like, what are you, astaghfirullah, what are you saying, bro? Let me know what you mean. All right, I'm gonna go use the bathroom while I wait. While we wait for Brother Zeeshan, he should be back in 5 minutes, maybe even less. So we'll wait for him, and when we are back, we'll keep the show going, guys. Again, thank you so much for everything. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for Brother Amar and Brother Miswak for stepping up and becoming moderators. To any of you out there who also want to do it, let me know. I'll gladly make you a moderator. Also, during this time, I'm going to mention the Quran project. You guys, know about it. I talk about it all the time. I have a project where I have 4 different translations of the Quran in English, in Urdu, in the original Arabic, in Spanish. And if you would like a Quran, I pay for the packaging, I pay for the shipping. I will ship it out to you. You will get your own Quran, and people around you that may need one. If you know people that will, let me know, and I will gladly send it to you. Saikor, you could be a mod. All right, brother, I'll make you one too. Did you buy that book, Being Muslim? Book, Being Muslim. Were you the one who sent me, Joe? Were you the one who sent me the book? Who told me the book? Hold on. Let me look it up. I think it's the book if it's the book I'm thinking of. Were you the one who told me that this was the book? Here, hold on. This one, right? It's gonna be like that. Really? You're gonna screw with me? It's by Asad Karsin. Yes. Okay. No, thank you for reminding me. You mentioned it to me and I forgot about it. Thank you for reminding me. I just took a picture of it and make sure that I do. I appreciate that. Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you. See, this is what I'm talking about. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. Jazakallahu khairan. You guys always show me so much love to help me to, you encourage me to increase my deen, to strengthen my deen, to become stronger Muslim by doing things like this. Right, literally anything that you guys, any type of literature you can give me, any little, beautiful insight or knowledge you can give me, I appreciate it. It means so much to me. So jazakallahu khairan. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. Yes, brother. All right, bro. One sec. I was trying to go to the bathroom before you came back. I'm about to use the bathroom real quick. So
probably.
Right, give me 1 minute. Let me use the bathroom. All right. You can talk to the brothers. It's your stream now. Take over.
All right. I'm taking over now.
Yeah.
Taking over your channel.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, go right ahead. Talk to him.
All right. Hello. How is everyone? If you haven't prayed yet, pray. If you forgot about that. Where's everyone from anyway? What time zones? Hello. I have took over the channel now. I am now the owner of the channel. Okay, Michigan, NYC. All right. So what time is it over there? Sarah living in Poland. All right, so different time zones, different variants. I see. Okay. How far from you, London? All right. Okay. I was just wondering anyway, because it's quite fascinating anyway when you see a lot of these lives as well, a lot of different countries. It's quite interesting. 4 p.m. Okay. That makes sense. Yes, like 9 o'clock over here. I live in Stoke, but I had to return. Stoke-on-Trent. All right. Oh my gosh, quite close. But yeah, that's it. Moving to Warsaw soon. What guys? What do you think is the best country to move to at the moment if you want to migrate? Because at the moment, you know what's happening with all the countries and with their laws right now. What do you think is the best country to migrate to? Because I'm thinking of migrating away from the UK. So, what's your best suggestions? UK for me, Egypt. I'm personally, I'd rather be in Egypt again. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, for me anyway, personally, anything away from, personally, where I live will be better. Anywhere with a conservative country, in my opinion, anyway. Because at the moment, for where I live, there's a lot of fitna around here. So Netherlands, yeah, Netherlands. Shout. Oh really? I've never been to Stoke. I've hardly left Essex only because there's not really much to go away from here. Yeah. I think anyway with migration as well, you have to look at how it is because you're thinking, because if I move away from the UK, is it going to be more benefit for me? Because there's going to be less halal food if I move to somewhere in a country that has less of a Muslim population. So that's something as well. That's something I'm thinking about. Because you have to think about that as well. Because if you think about, let's say if I move here to raise my kids in the future, would I want to raise my kids in an environment that has more fitna based on the environment? Is it going to change? You could always go, yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, I could go vegetarian. Everyone is a mod now. Yeah, but yeah, I could go vegetarian. That's true. Just eat a seafood diet. But yeah, that's it. I think also with currently right now, what's your opinion of AI? What do you? Yeah, avoid France. Yeah, fortunate, but that's true. Fitna is inevitable. Actually, I want to go into that point about me going to Busan. So I went in February. If you weren't here for that, but I'm from Busan, and I went back in February. And when I went there, I was quite shocked about how many people don't pray. And I'm not trying to expose their sins or anything like that. I'm not saying that they can't. Yeah, I'm not trying to expose anyone's sins, but when you go there, you expect it to be a Muslim country. So you're like, okay, I'm in a Muslim country now. It's all great and stuff like that. But then you start to realize, oh no, no one around you prays, because I thought my Aman will strengthen there. But it's a bit of a different circumstances. But, you know, I don't know if that's all in Muslim countries, because I've got a friend from Bangladesh and he says it's the same there. I think it's because you live in a Muslim country, you're taking it easy. But I don't know. Yeah, but I still love Pakistan, so. Oh yeah, with AI, I think at the moment it's not that close to taking over, only because I've used AI, a lot of these AI stuff, especially the stuff that you have to pay for, the stuff that are free. They're not the best in my opinion. They're quite faulty, especially with like a lot of these free AI image generators. They're quite some of them are alright, but you need a lot of other software that you need to do. But I would say a lot of AI replication, that's something to fear about, because I don't know if you guys are aware, but there was something on YouTube about Mufti Menk and his voice being replicated in AI. And that's surprisingly easy to do. All you need to do is get it literally takes 2 steps. You need to go onto something called it's like some Google collab. That's like I don't want to go too much into it, but it's AI voice replication is something to worry about, I think. Yeah, deepfakes are very scary. Yeah, it's just, yeah, that's the thing though. Because you never know, you might be watching your favorite sheikh, you know, watching their video, and they might say something wrong, and you think they're saying something wrong, and it could cause fitna. So it's something to worry about as well. So I need a lot more work. Image 1 struggle with something, gives off uncanny valley vibe feeling. Yes, yeah, that's what it is though. That's why a lot of artists are protesting against it, because it follows it's literally just copying it. That's what AI is. It doesn't create its own thing. It's just literally copying from a system. Fake AI people coming to YouTube soon. Yeah, they are coming to YouTube, but to find the info to prevent that from happening. To be fair, with a lot of this info about whether a lot of this is happening, it's actually quite hard to find. That's what I've noticed a lot, because I've talked about this before with a lot of other people, and they're quite unaware of it. But yeah, at the moment, I generally think AI will be banned to the public anyway, because I don't think it will go into that point. No, he didn't fall asleep. He'll be coming back. He's in the toilet. he hasn't gone to sleep. You know, I think I'll be going to sleep in a couple of hours anyway. But yeah, I think regarding that with AI, yeah, that's something. What will your channel be about, tech or Islam? Oh no, mine will just be about Islam strictly. I know a lot of other stuff about tech and stuff like that. I might make videos about that. But I don't know. We'll have to see. No, he's in the toilet. I don't. Maybe he is having a shower. Maybe he is. Maybe he is gone. Maybe he's gone to. He's gone now. Gives out false information or out there information. Yeah, it does. It does. I remember from my college projects. This is the shocking thing, by the way. In college, one of my teachers, he actually said that you could use AI, but you had to credit it for the sources, which I thought was completely silly, because what's the point? But you know, that's that. Do you trade in stocks? That's crypto. Well, I'm personally quite private on what I do with my money, but let's just say at the moment I do a bit of stocks. Yeah, I do a bit of stocks. What kind of topics are you planning to cover? I'm planning to cover a lot of currently a lot of Islamic stuff that people don't know about that's going on at the moment. But I don't know. We have to see what happens. But we have to see what happens in the future. Maybe he went to Pakistan. Yeah, he's on he's on his way to Pakistan now. But
whew. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, my landlord stopped by. Don't worry, I wasn't in the bathroom that whole time. I had to stop and talk to him. Maybe he went to Pakistan. Oh man, this is making me laugh.
I know. We're talking about AI. Answering some questions.
Okay, yeah, there's definitely some. So continue on. I want to hear what you were saying.
Yeah, I was just going on about how.
Shower. Sister Angela, you're cracking me up.
Yeah, I was just looking into answering questions about AI, about what my channel will be about tech, because I was talking about how easy it is to replicate voices. Like it's incredibly easy. Like I could just do it like that, but
it's kind of scary, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very scary, because I don't know if you heard about Mufti Menk. He had his voice replicated. And there's this person in Pakistan at the moment. He hasn't got notoriety, but there's a lot of people that say they're the Imam Mahdi and whatnot. Those fake claims about being. Yeah, and then there was an AI replication of his voice saying that, oh, he's the next Imam Mahdi. And he had to clear it up in a video to say, though, this is not my voice, this is AI. And it's crazy, honestly, because it's very easy to replicate it. Like, it's incredibly easy. Like the other day, for example, I used to make content on TikTok for like AI just to test it out.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable how it's so easy. Like all you need to do is train the AI with the voices. Honestly, I'll probably have to make a video on it, how to protect yourself on it. But
wait, what do you mean? You used to? I'm so like.
Oh, sorry. No, I also run other like channels and stuff like that, but it's just for like tech and stuff like that. This is completely unrelated to Islam.
No. I got that. I'm just like I'm trying to understand. Like, what do you mean? Like, you have AI? You make the AI run the TikTok? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no! I didn't make the AI run the TikTok, but I made like AI content. So I would make like AI stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sister Angela. That was one of the ideas that I was just gonna say. Sister Angela, let me know. I want you to be a if you would like to be a mod, let me know, a moderator in the chat, because we can't. I don't want any more of these crazy Islamophobes coming in the chat, dropping crazy things.
Did you get those in your chat?
What's that?
Do you get a lot of like Islamophobes in your comments coming?
Honestly, no, I don't. It's just like, bro, I had like this has been a topic as of, I don't know, probably like a few weeks ago, but Brother Ibrahim and I, we spoke about the fact that like we are so blessed with, out of the few hate comments that I get and the few hate comments that he gets from, what he says as well is that, I get no, because the term is, the haram police. That's what everybody likes to say. Like fellow Muslims that will, I don't know, say hateful things or whatever. I've never had any of that. I've never had any haram police, right? But the only hate type messages that I get come from atheists or sadly people of the book.
Right.
So this was like, I don't know how. When was it? You guys remember? It was probably like a few streams ago. It was actually on somebody else's stream, and somebody. It was just a troll. It was just somebody who likes to troll a lot. And I was like, you know what? My next stream, somebody told me that I needed to get moderated, so I said, you know what? That's probably a good idea. So inshaAllah, we'll have no more trolls. We'll have any space in these live streams.
Right.
But Sister Angela, I'm just gonna make you a moderator. I trust you enough. You're good people. You know this. One second. Let me figure this out.
Personally, actually, I haven't really dealt with a lot of like haram police or anything like that. there hasn't been anything with that for me. But
of course,
I get,
of course not, brother. You're a genius, bro. What you mean?
But yeah, I mean, before a lot of people there's like some people saying about the name, the Money Prince, and it is what it is. But I'm used to hate. I've been used to hate, so it is what it is.
Let's see, where is this? I'm trying to figure this out right now. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, as of right now, it'll be all right. It's only four moderators right now, so we'll be good with that for right now. I'm just for like as of right now, because you guys are here. You guys are the ones who are here a lot. Wow, that's a topic for sure. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, let's go back to where we ended off. I'm trying to remember where we were at. Okay, so we pretty much covered your background, and moving forward, right? I want to talk about your opinions, your beliefs, and where you see where you see Islam for the modern Muslim, where you see Islam today, and where you see Islam for the modern Muslim and modern Muslima.
All right, that's a good question actually, because I think currently there's a lot of, in the UK, as you said before, there's a lot of Muslims. Actually, I was watching a video of like a town in Ireland. I think it's one of the most popular towns, and they asked the people, the public, what's the most popular name there, and it was Muhammad. And they were shocked, obviously, because in Ireland, I know, like, it's unbelievable. Yeah, in a place that you would never hear, that you would never expect it. But
that makes me so happy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the future for that is quite positive. And as I don't know if I said this before in the live stream, but what keeps me like optimistic for the future is that there was a promise made in the Hadith, and it was of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make sure that the ummah never dies out, that there is something there. So that is a promise made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that makes me positive that no matter what happens in the future, there might be some people that might have a lot of platform that might spread this and that, but it really is there's really hope for the future as well. And I think before I was thinking quite pessimistic in the sense of, oh, there's a lot of fitna and whatnot, but I think it's going to head into a positive direction, generally because of how the pendulum is swinging right now. When there's a lot of people right now that are, society's gone a bit nuts with, all of this, all of the politics and whatnot. I think it's just going to swing back to the natural state of things, and specifically to like the traditional roles in society. So it will. I reckon there'll be countries that people won't expect that will become majority Muslim, and even maybe inshaAllah run by Islamic State.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. But I think that is. I think the future is bright, but yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for the future.
MashaAllah, bro. I couldn't. I agree with a lot of what you said. I really feel for I pray, and I would love to see a country in the West become an Islamic country, but I do not see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
And that, as well as Sharia law, which this is something that Brother Ibrahim and I we talked about a lot. And as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of people were up in arms at the first times that I said this. I got, him and I both got some hate for from atheists and you know, of course, non-Muslims, people that really don't understand Sharia law and how, like, I truly believe, me personally, right? I truly believe that not only would Islam save all the issues that we have in the world today and save all the problems that we have today, but Sharia law would do all of it. It's the key. It is the answer. It will save every single issue that we have today, especially in the Western world, with all of the degeneracy, right? And what I mean by that is, I'm sure you can understand, right? That Sharia law does not accept any of this LGHDTV stuff, right? The alphabet is out the window, right? That is out the window. But even when you think about it, right? And I forget who I watched talk about this. And this was, you know, I want to say this was like a scholar, it might have even been a sheikh, but, you know, you think of, you know, not to say that it doesn't exist in, you know, countries where, in Islamic countries or in countries where Sharia law exists or is intact, but you do not hear about it. You do not see it flaunted in front of the eyes of children, right? It is not out there in the street. If it's done, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billah minash shaitanir rajim, it's done in private, right? And now I'm saying that, please understand that I do not agree with it at all, okay? I mean, I am not about hatred whatsoever, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, bro, and it comes to the, you know, damaging of the household, damaging, you know, our future, you know, leaders, the children, our future, the next generation and stuff, you know, I heard Andrew Tate talk about this a lot. You know, we are here, we have to protect the children, right? We are here as men, especially, to protect the children. And to see things like, you know, the teas and, you know, all of this being thrown in front of children's faces, right, down the streets in parades and in children's books and in children's movies, astaghfirullah, a'udhu billah minash shaitanir rajim. You know, it sickens me, bro. It really sickens me. And you know, I have to say that as far as degeneracy has started from years ago, and slowly over time, right, they've gotten the world, the Western world, you know, to the point where people don't even realize that it became degeneracy. They think it's the norm because it was a slow adaptation to life, right? Introducing them to this. And like you said something earlier, bro, like 10 years ago or whenever you were in high school, you said, you know, how people would crack jokes at you, Islamophobic jokes towards you, right? And back then it was okay. It could be laughed at. If that were done today, it'd be a whole different scenario, right? And this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, all these different, you know, situations in this, right? It's completely different what it was. And you want to go back to when I was a kid, bro? You know, it's the things that used to be you could joke about or say back when I was a kid, bro, you wouldn't even, like, not even close. You'd be thrown in jail today. You'd probably be killed for it. You probably have a whole mob of the alphabets coming at you and trying to, you know, take you out or something. Astaghfirullah. So what I mean, aside from that, right, Sharia law will you know, get rid of that. It will also be the answer and will solve another degenerate issue that we have, which is the alcohol and drugs issue, right? Because obviously that speaks for itself. You understand? You know, this will, once again, I don't want to say that it won't exist because, of course, there will always be a black market, but it will not be shoved in everybody's face as you now see today, right? It is glamorized. It is glamorized in movies. It is glamorized in music, television, on the news, everything, right? And I saw something recently, right? And it really blew my mind. And it was about how, you know, I've spoke about it before, how the powers that be and the elites in the world, they want to get rid of, you know, religion, basically, right? Now they won't exactly say that, but they don't want religion, and they don't want religion for the fact that, right, when you take religion out of the picture and you have people, right, no longer praying to God, no longer praying to whatever their beliefs may be, right? They then become extremely selfish, okay? Their ego takes over. And with them becoming extremely selfish, they're no longer focused on the issues that is around them. They're only focused on what's going on inward, on making themselves happy and stuff like this. They don't care what's going on outside or in politics or in the environment or anything like that, or what's going on outside of your country, right? They don't care because they're so selfishly focused. They're focused about themselves. So you take away religion, you make people selfish. In turn, you make people weak, and weak people can be controlled. Andrew Tate talks about people being controlled like this, right? So that's why this satanic measures or beliefs is thrown out there in the world so much today with this degeneracy. And when I found Islam, Islam to me, not only was it the answer, not only did it save my life. When I recited the Shahada and I was ready, I fully accepted Islam, and reverted to Islam and became Muslim. I talk about this all the time, how not only did it save my life, but throughout my entire life, I felt like I was looking for something. Like I was a puzzle, and half of me or half of the puzzle was missing, right? And I was always searching for the pieces of the puzzle to complete this puzzle, right? And no matter, I would say, okay, it will be this one. I'll get this car or these sneakers or this woman or this amount of money or that. And once I got it, nothing changed. I still felt empty. I still felt hollow. I still that those pieces that were missing, I couldn't find them. When I was 25, I gave up on it. I said, it's not possible. It doesn't exist. I said, this is just how everybody feels. 5 years later, or, 6 months ago, I recite the Shahada. I revert to Islam. In the moments that I finished the last word, those puzzle pieces were finally complete. For the first time in my life, that which I was in search of my entire life, I finally found. And that is what Islam is to me. Not only is it, did it save my life? It is the answer, right? And alhamdulillah, bro, this is like, as much as Islam and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or as much as Islam and Sharia is the answer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the complete savior, bro. Allah saved my life, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do that to everybody if you're willing. If you're willing to make that sacrifice. Matter of fact, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so chooses you for that path, right? And we are blessed that we are of those chosen ones. So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So anyway, my rant's done.
It's beautiful what you said, though. It's really beautiful to really reflect on that, because it's like reflecting on your path and how that's like buried deep now. It's gone forever. Now this is like, as you said, turning a new leaf in a sense.
Yeah, jazakallahu khairan, brother. Seriously, thank you so much for that. I just want to say to everybody who's here, to those who are new to the channel, please subscribe. To those who don't know, Brother Zeeshan, who was formerly the Money Prince, who is now the Real Soldier of Allah, please subscribe to his channel. And please don't forget to hit those likes and share the stream. Jazakallahu khairan. Okay, so you talked about your view of Islam for the modern Muslim. Also, right. I wanted to ask this now. With your view of Islam as the modern Muslim, I read something. Now I've mentioned this multiple times on different streams. I don't remember where I read it. I keep forgetting to look into it. Jazakallahu khairan, brother, for subscribing. Thank you so much. I keep forgetting to look it up again. So I'm going to write this down after I say it.
Right.
I saw that, the Judgment Day, right? The year that we're in right now on the Islamic calendar is 1445, right? Correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's 1445. So what I've read, and I don't know, bro, I wish I could remember where I saw this. Like, there's no way it was a dream. If it was a dream, that scares me even more. But
yeah.
In this, it said that hold on. Please don't tell me my battery's gonna die. Okay, no, I got 20% left. All right. So, in this, it stated that the Judgment Day, right, the day, Resurrection Day, everything, right, it was coming with, it was going to be in the year 1458. If that's true, bro, that's only 13 years away. And when I realized what I had read, it was like I didn't realize it until an hour had passed what I just read. I don't know how that didn't register in my mind. So that's why I'm like, wait, did I dream this? Like, I need to double check. So I don't know if you've heard of this or anything like that. But then once I thought of it that hour later, I'm like, wait a minute. When you look at it, right, and you see how degenerate the world we're in is, right, you could see, like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like, wow, they have completely, like, the disbelievers have completely failed. Like, it is time, it's time for a Judgment Day. Like, if they cannot figure this out within the next so-and-so years, like, that's it. And where you see like I said, where you see how degenerate times have gotten, where you see how degenerate, especially the West, has gotten, right? And it's even changed and gotten into Islamic countries such as like Dubai, and really Dubai is probably the top one that I'd say. I hear from brothers and sisters who've gone to Dubai or came from Dubai, and they tell me that Dubai is worse than any Western state,
right?
For the fact that yes, they have all the same things that we see in the West as degenerate, but they are doing all that in an Islamic country, right? Yeah. It saddens me when I hear it, right? When they tell me this, because I can remember when I'd say, I was going to say, 3 years ago, I used to, when Dubai was like the big thing first, I want to say it was like 4 years ago, right before COVID. That was like, or a couple of years before COVID was when it really started popping off all over the place, like in social media. And I was seeing it everywhere. I was like, yo, I want to go to this place. And then once I became Muslim and I started hearing these things, I'm like, oh man, that's saddening to me. But anyways, so with that being said, right, what are your thoughts on that, with the fact that, like, what do you think of Judgment Day? When do you think, how do you feel about it if it were to come up that quickly within 13 years? If that is true, right? Right. How do you feel on that?
I think there was another hadith, and it was talking about how the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was worrying, and Aisha radiyallahu anhu, she asked him, why are you worrying? Because you're destined to. Sorry, can you hear me still?
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
All right, sorry, just my headphones made a noise, so I thought it went off.
I was typing. That's probably what it was. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
But yeah, so I think she said, and this is from the top. So if I say, so I'm paraphrasing here, but I think she said, why do you worry? Because you're destined to go to Jannah. But he said that he was worrying because the angel has his lips on the trumpet, ready to blow it for the earth to completely go for Judgment Day. So if you imagine that, the fact that it's already like it's just in anticipation. It's waiting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that action. We are already living in the times, to be fair. As you said, with a lot of fitna that's going on, it's unbelievable what's happening at the moment. And whenever or whatever, what time Judgment Day is, I just pray that, I think the biggest fitna that I pray for and I'm worried about the most is the Dajjal, because I have no idea how that's gonna happen, and it's unbelievable. So for that one as well, it's just anticipation. You just have to. It is all faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because at the end of the day, you have to think about it in this sense. Like, if the Dajjal were to come tomorrow, hypothetically, if it were to come tomorrow, if this fitna were to come tomorrow, would you be prepared? Would you, in your scenario, be prepared? And in that scenario, you have to think also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided me. If he can guide me, then surely he could protect me also. So those are thoughts to have. But also with the Dubai thing you were talking about, a lot of that is because of mass migration of Westerners, and they're bringing their degeneracy to Dubai. So what ends up happening is that it ends up corrupting it. So that's what ends up happening. And then when you have a lot of people saying, "Oh, come to Dubai," they start bringing,
Stop. The Westerners have ruined it. I just want to say, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to Sister Navira. Shout out to Sister Navira. To those who don't know her or aren't already subscribed to her channel, please go check her out and subscribe to her channel. An amazing sister, very knowledgeable. You will love her. Please subscribe to her channel. And with what the brother said, I really like this comment. That's why I put it on the screen. He said, like, dirty hippies or damn hippies ruined America and the rest of the world. Yeah. Bro, I love that comment. Subhanallah, that the 60s and 70s, man.
Yeah.
In America.
And that's the thing as well, because when you look at that time, everything was just like, oh yeah, you can live in this degeneracy, but it was like pulled under the rug. Like, even I made a video about this on like Shorts. I don't know if you saw it. And it was of Ted Bundy himself, and he said, and this is, I think, before he got put into until he died, but until he was killed by the death sentence, he said that most of the murderers in jail, most of the people in jail are because of porn. And I don't know why no one in their right mind didn't listen to him. Like, if you want to let your country run for its own good, you would listen to this. He's a serial killer, and he's telling you that most of the murderers here are watching it, and he got fueled by it. So, and you can imagine what's happening now with this. It's just unbelievable, like unbelievable.
Well, I mean, you think about it, right? And you think about these things, like, even if the people were to listen, right?
Right.
Like you hear, shout out to Brother Andrew Tate, that he's finally got, because he has so much reach, he's finally got so many, especially young men, thinking and finally realizing that we've been lied to, for so many years.
Right.
Some of us have had these thoughts for quite some time. People just called us crazy, and you're conspiracies, your nonsense, right? Stuff. But really, in all reality, it's the truth. And no matter how many, right, what you just said, no matter, even if we were, Sharia law, we were to try and make Sharia law intact in America or in a Western country, the powers that be would never allow that to happen, for the fact that sex, drugs and violence, alcohol and gambling and usury are their biggest money makers, bro. Their biggest money makers. And with Sharia takes away all of those. So you really think the powers and the powers that be in the West want to get rid of them? Hell no. They do not want, bro. They would go to war over this. And this is the stuff that really like drives me crazy and makes you start thinking, like, was the war, you know, when the Bushes started to attack the Middle East and stuff like this, were these wars really about oil and gasoline? Was this really what the wars were about? No. They did not want Islam spreading to the West. That's what I like. And the more I open up my mind and I really start thinking about this, like you dive into this and you start questioning, you start thinking some really like, you're like, wait a minute, am I losing my mind? No, this sounds more intact with anything that, like, it makes so much sense, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure you've heard the conspiracies about, you know, 9/11 and everything like that, that it was actually, you know, I forget what it was that George Bush's cousin or best friend or something like that was actually close schoolmates and friends with Osama and all these things, right? Like,
all right.
Right, bro, there's like so many intricate parts in that whole piece, but they made it look like it was, you know, like it was from the Middle East. So that was just a reason for us to attack, for America to attack them. And
yeah,
bro, it's just, it truly, it will, if you start really diving into things like the conspiracies, as people want to say, right?
Yeah.
It really gets you thinking, right? And like I said, man, it's truly the powers that be in these elites. They will do anything that they can to stop the spread of the truth, right?
Right.
You look at what Andrew Tate was saying, right? He said they don't want someone like me who's going to speak truth onto the world. They don't want me who's, you know, bringing their darkness to the light and exposing them. And he said it. He was like, first, they're going to cancel me. They did. Next, they're going to try and throw me in jail for something I didn't do. They did. And the third one, I hope he doesn't. They don't, you know, but they're going to try and take him out. And I think that because he's already, you know, stated the fact that he would never, you know, commit the S word. I'm not going to say, I don't know if I can say that.
It'll probably get flagged on YouTube.
I don't want to say that. That's why I cut myself. So, what was this? So, you know, he would never do that. Not only that, because he made it so open, like, can they even take him out, even if he continues at this point? It's like, so I don't know, bro. It's shout out to brother Andrew. You know, he really gets, he's got so many people thinking now, and so many people thinking for themselves and not falling into this slave mindset that that these wars are crusades. Yeah, see? Exactly. Bush and Obama have expressed that these wars are crusades. Bro, it's and they want it. The crazy thing is, when I hear that, thanks for bringing up that term, brother. You know, when I hear that, it's so funny to me, being someone, you know, being oh man, hold on. Let me plug my computer in real quick. I don't want it to die. I may have to turn off my light though.
That's all right.
Let's see. Can I do it this way? I think I can. Hold on. Yes, I can. That should be long enough.
All right. Yeah, it's the S word.
Yeah. So, you know, thanks, brother, for bringing that up, though. The Crusades, right? And you think about it, and, you know, since 9/11, even before 9/11, back when George Bush Sr. First attacked the Middle East and first started, you know, talking, you know, Muslims as terrorists and stuff, all this just straight garbage, nonsense, propaganda, just to brainwash it, bro, all over. And it still exists today in the West, right? Like, you talk to, now, since you and I are Muslims, and, you know, I want to say that you probably won't, like, we probably won't hear it much, or I probably won't hear it much anymore since now that I am Muslim. That, you know, most Westerners, when they hear Muslim or when they hear Islam, that's their first thought is terrorists. You know, that's
Right.
their first thought, and
Yeah.
that's just pure honesty. That's pure honesty, right?
Yeah.
I tell my brothers that, you know, I asked them if, you know, in America, my brother's here. I'm like, when I first reverted, I was like, do you guys ever experience any kind of hatred or Islamophobia here? And they say never, never. Everybody's, you know, they said one of my brothers, actually, as 3 of them that have been here for probably 15 to 20 years or more. You know, I asked them, and all 3 of them, they said each that one time since they've been here, only one time that they've experienced, you know, pretty much racism just for the fact that they spoke differently. That was it.
All right.
But when they said, aside from that, everybody's been, you know, very, very nice to me, very nice to my family, you know, smiling all the time, being polite. Da, da, da. I said, yeah, they might be like that to your face, and then as soon as you walk away, they're calling you a terrorist and this, that,
Right,
right, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and that's just sad that that does still, you know, it's just, that's the way that Westerners, not just America, especially America, because this is where, you know, 9/11 happened, but in the Western world, this is the way the Westerners think. And when you get down to it, it is not just because of that incident. It is because of the propaganda, the nonsense, the brainwashing that has been pushed out on every single news media outlet, on social media. If you even look at TV and movies, bro, like you look at Aladdin, look at the way that they portray the bad guy, right?
All right.
He's like eyebrows like this, like he looks like he's a straight murderess, like, bro, just the way that it's the way that they portray us as Muslims in like, that's a kid's movie. That's a kid's movie. But you think about it, right? Bro, it gets me so, like, sometimes it gets me so frustrated and aggravated that I can't do anything but like laugh at it to try and make a positive out of it, because otherwise I'm just gonna get, you know, I'm gonna get worked up. It's absolute garbage, bro. Yeah, exactly, garbage. So I brought that up because he mentioned this. And it's funny that they say that, like, you know, if you talk to anybody, they'll say, yeah, well, you know, the Muslims killed so many, da da da. Really, bro? Really? Is that really what you want to say? Right? Like, out of the 2 billion, I believe we're even exceeding 2 billion at this point. Out of the 2 billion or more Muslims in the entire world, the radical Muslims or extreme Muslims are less than 1%. Let me repeat that. Less than 1% of 2 billion, right? Like, you realize how small that is out of the entire Muslim population in the world, bro? Like, so tiny. And I've explained this to people that I've actually heard, like, spout nonsense like this. And, you know, I'll go into detail and explain all these things, right? And it's like, so you're going to say that because of this minuscule amount of these radical Muslims, right, that all 2 billion Muslims as a whole were all this way? Astaghfirullah. What are you, crazy? Like, bro, it's absurd.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about which religion killed more people? Going to Christianity, talk about the Crusades. The brother mentioned it right there, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's absolutely crazy. Yes. Sister Navira, thanks for, you know, Jazakallah khairan. I know you've been extremely busy. Inshallah, we'll make it happen. Sister Navira and I will be having another stream as well coming up shortly. Inshallah, it'll either be on her channel or mine. We will let you guys know. 1 second, brother, before you revert, what you were thinking of Islam, Mikā'īl. What the heck? Hold on a second. What is that in my head?
All right, that's good. Yeah.
What the hell is that? All right. It's For both brothers, Zeeshan. Okay. So also, you know, what I was thinking about Islam before I reverted. So really, I grew up in Boston. I grew up in a melting pot of cultures. There's so many different cultures where I grew up, and I had some of my best friends growing up were Muslim, you know, from Muslim families, and I understood it. Now, all the Muslims I met in my entire life were always the friendliest, most loving, respectful, caring people, right? So I had no hatred. I had nothing but love for my Muslim brothers and sisters. But because of what I was fed as a kid since I was a child, you know, really ever since that incident that happened in New York, you know, I remember being at school when that happened. I remember hearing the teachers talk and spout nonsense. I remember being at friends' houses and their fathers friends and this, that, you know, spouting nonsense, talking terrorists and this, and for a moment in time, like I'm talking when I was young, like, I don't know, 12, 13, right around that time, that's what I thought. But then once the thing started to click in my head, I'm like, wait a minute. I have best friends who are Muslim. I know that they're, you know, the nicest people I've ever met in the world. I know that all the Muslims that I've met and seen around me are the most loving, caring, you know, people that I've ever met. And especially when I started to go on the spiritual journey, right? It really wasn't, to me, I thought that, you know, all people were, no matter what religion, no matter what creed, no matter what color of their skin, you know, all people are capable of good and all people are capable of evil. And that was something that was instilled in me from my Nona. My Nona is, you know, she's an angel as far as I'm concerned. She's the sweetest lady you could ever meet. I've talked about her in detail, you know. We can talk about this another time. I want to finish the stream with Brother Zeeshan, and we'll definitely talk more about this. But anyways, you know, then the last 2 years, of course, when I was researching Islam before I reverted, and then reverting, you know, I found the truth, and Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, you know, reciting the Ash-hadu was the greatest decision of my life. To the people who are new to the channel, please go subscribe to Brother Zeeshan at the Real Soldier of Allah, and please subscribe to my channel if you are new as well. You know, now for you, brother, you know, I really like the, you know, what you had stated. You know, like you said, it gets you thinking. And what I wanted to ask you is, after talking about the state of Islam in modern society, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel, and what are your thoughts on parenting, you know, our future Muslim children in in modern society? And what steps will you take? What practices and what, you know, how will you raise them?
I think it wouldn't be a similar approach of how I got raised, but it will be more of, because I can see how when you move to this country, generally, when your parents are immigrants, when they raise you with this idea like, oh, don't go and hang around with that person because they might be a bad influence and this and that. But you have to also look at it in your own perspective. Like when the child hears that, they think, oh, but why not? It'll be gravitational. They just gravitate to that. So I think because you live in a society that is more surrounded by a lot of fitna, and it is in the West, I guess in that scenario, you have to be more patient with how you raise your child. You have to be very, very patient because they could take a very long time to come around and feel like, you know what, I want to go to the mosque. But I feel like you should encourage as well, because if you're just like, oh, we're Muslim and that's it, then that's nothing. You have to kind of encourage them, because if they see that you're practicing it as well, you lead by example, they think, oh, my dad's doing this, so I'm gonna practice that as well. I'm gonna do that, because they gravitate to you because you're the role models, and when you spend that quality time and you spend that time with your family as well, and making sure that they spend more time with the family than friends as well, to make sure there's more connection there. So that would be my answer for that.
MashaAllah. No, I like that, and I agree wholeheartedly with that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but hearing what you said, you know, shout out to the sister, the Muslim. You know, she has an amazing channel as well. I bring her up because please go subscribe to her, everybody, if you don't already. But she talks about it was a recent video. You know, it was a live stream. I think it might have been the last live stream I did with her. You know,
right.
she talked about how raising her children, that her youngest daughter, I think she mentioned how her youngest daughter, because she sees her, you know, she sees her mom pray, right? And like you said, follow by example. So when it's time to pray, you know, her youngest daughter, she gets out the prayer rug and, okay, mommy, let's pray. Let's gets excited for it, right?
Yeah.
And she said it's even to the point where when it's not prayer time, she's like, okay, mommy, it's prayer time. Let's pray, right? So when I hear stories like this, like, it gets me so excited, man. It gets me so excited to hear that and see that in my own children. Not only just my own children, but to hear that from, you know, and see that in other children. Like her telling me this, you know, I could feel the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in just her explaining this.
Right.
And it's like you said, when a child has a role model, when a child sees their parents, their father or mother doing something, they're like, okay, I want to do what they're doing, right?
Right.
So it's cool to them, so to speak, right? So
right. Exactly.
Like you said, lead by example. I like that a lot, bro. I like that. And I definitely agree with, you know, raising children in the Western world, in, you know, in Islam, it is not, it's straight up, it's not easy, right? But then again, nothing is easy. So I feel like, going right back to that statement that I just said, that, you know, from what you said, lead by example. As long as you lead by example, you explain to them and you express to them and show them, you know, the proper respect, the proper qualities, principles, and values to have, right? Eventually, they're going to make the right decisions with or without you, you know?
Right.
And
that's good. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And you mentioned something about, you know, those friends that you had growing up who they were forced into praying or forced into doing things a certain way. Right. And you said that half of them, you know, half of them were very strong and pious in their deen, and half of them did not work out so well. So I know, for example, that so many friends, or I shouldn't even say friends, but so many, you know, acquaintances that I knew growing up who were from extremely strict families, that as soon as they got away from their strict families, they would go like crazy, bro. They would be like Tasmanian devil, like literally doing everything that they were told not to do to the extreme, right? And it's kind of like how you hear, you know, astaghfirullah before I say this, but how you hear, or I've heard about Muslim brothers or sisters that go away to university, right? That after being inside a house for so long, or sisters, for example, that after being, you know, only around their family and wearing hijab or niqab for so long, that as soon as they go to university, you know, as soon as they go, they take off the hijab, they go clubbing and stuff, you know, astaghfirullah. But then of course there are those who remain practicing and everything, but
I think with the point about that as well is that you have to look at it into the parents' perspective as well, because the reason they are forcing it is because they think if I force it, then they will stick with it, because it's just out of that love. They feel like they don't want them to go astray, so they feel like if I just force it onto them, then hopefully that it just sticks in their brain somehow. But
yep.
As you said, once you go away from that, you go crazy because you've never experienced anything but that.
And
but yeah,
you know, it's worrisome, especially like for me as a future parent, for you I'm sure as well. So you know, there's pros and cons to both ways, right? To letting them decide for themselves. I feel like the only way is to find a happy medium, to not be too strict, but to not be too just like loosey goosey with it, and just kind of you gotta find like a middle ground, right?
Right.
But all right, yeah, let's on to the next one. You know, I'm not sure how much time you have left, but I was hoping, I said I was gonna go until it was prayer time for me, and it's prayer time. It's about to be the call to prayer in like a minute. So I'll ask you one last question, and then I'll save the rest for our next one, because we will have many more to come. And then if the viewers want to ask you some questions, we can answer some of their questions as well at the end. So also one last time, I want to say, please go check out Brother Zeeshan's channel. You know, subscribe to his channel, share the stream, and please hit that like button. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Now, well, I kind of, I guess I asked you. I'm trying to think the way I worded this before, but I asked you as far as, you know, how you were brought up, because me as somebody who, you know, is going to be getting married in the near future, and going to start raising a family soon in the near future as well, inshaAllah. You know, because I'm trying to, I like to hear different ways that our fellow Muslims are brought up, what worked, what didn't, and so on and so forth. Now, if you had any advice to give me as a Muslim revert, or any, not just Muslim revert, any Muslim, you know, to help what you think, although you are not a parent, what you think would be a good tactic to raise, you know, a good practice, I should say, to raise our children in Islam, in modern society, especially in the Western world, since you live in the West. And also that, as well as, you know, any advice that you would give to any Muslim revert that is just coming into the religion, you know, any advice that you would have for Muslim reverts, you know, to whether strengthen their deen, whatever it may be.
So I'll start with the parent bit. I think it's mainly a bit with, I've got two things. I think it's trust on the kids and becoming a good role model. I think it plays a massive part. If you yourself aren't a good role model for your kids, because they're going to end up looking somewhere else for what, if it's a daughter or a son, for a male role model. And unfortunately, they'll go down bad roads, and they may look at bad circumstances, and they look at, okay, I'm going to look at this, for example, and I'm going to be attracted to this person, and I'm going to hang out with that person because I haven't really got a father figure in my life that is worth being there. But also with the point about trusting that your child is doing the right thing. and trusting that they'll figure it out by themselves as well. Because if you just hold their hand wherever you go, because I guess I know how it feels that you're a parent and you feel like, oh, my child is gonna do this and that, and you fear for them. But to have that trust that inshaAllah that they figure it out themselves, that I think is best for that. And my advice for new people to come into Islam as well is to take it at your own pace. You may see some people online that are reverts and they go straight into it, but for some people it doesn't click like that. It takes time. And for some people that come straight to Islam, you have to imagine yourself speaking to someone that's non-Muslim and them finding about Islam, them accepting it. Then you have to realize, okay, they've accepted it now. Take your time. Because just flushing it down their throat, like pray 5 times a day, do this, do that, they're just going to get confused. They're going to be, what's going on? And it pushes them quite far. And yeah, I think that's advice for that.
MashaAllah. That's brilliant, bro. Brilliant. Absolutely. Yeah, honestly, I have nothing to even add to that, bro. I'm on point. Yeah. I completely agree with you on that. So, brothers and sisters, this is the point right before we leave. If you guys have any questions for our wonderful, knowledgeable brother here, please give him any questions you have, and I will bring it up and I will ask him for you. And love to see his answers. Now, while we wait to hear some of these questions, unless you guys don't have any questions, which I doubt that. I just want to say again, first off to you, brother, Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you so much for again coming onto the channel and having a wonderful live stream. I really enjoyed myself. You're an excellent guest. You're an excellent and wonderful brother. Not only my brother in Islam, but I look at you as a brother that I'm happy that I met through, even if it was through YouTube. And as I said, thank you so much for being here and being a part of the channel. Well, yeah. And, I really do, as I said to everybody out there, we will be having plenty more to come. There will be a part 2. I did appear on his channel as well. I'm pretty sure I already saved that to my phone.
Right.
I meant to post that. I don't think I ever posted that. But anyways, there is a part 1 where I was on his channel, and we, inshallah, we will do part 2 on his channel, and we'll do part 2 to this one on this channel, inshallah. So I look forward to that. And as I said earlier, right, so we have the Quran project. To anybody out there that does not have access to a Quran, who would like their own Quran, who knows brothers or sisters or non-Muslims who would like a Quran, please let me know. I have 4 different translations of the Quran. I have multiple copies. I have a distributor where I get them for a good connection, get them for a good price, and it is a gift from me and other brothers to you. Paid the packaging, the shipping, everything's paid for. Reach out to me if you would like one. If you would like your own Quran, I have them in 4 different translations: the Urdu, the original Arabic, the English, and the Spanish. If you would like one, please reach out to me. My email, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram is down below in the description of this video and every video. Also, we have if you would like to support the channel, you can do so, and you can also support the Quran Fund down below in the description as well. You will see the GoFundMe for that. And if you would like to, there's also the Hajj and Umrah project, as you heard me sharing with Brother Zeeshan earlier. And if you would like to contribute to that, to help change, it is a project to help Muslim reverts from all over the world make Umrah or Hajj who have yet to be able to. and inshallah, you know, the contributions that we can help to help change these brothers and sisters' lives, inshallah. So that is also down below in the description. So now we have some of these questions coming in. Let's see. Haram says, yes, Haram Ali says, Zeeshan, are you studying an Islamic book? Or any Islamic book? I think
I've got, oh, 1 second. I've got this at the moment. I looked into this before. Usul at-Tafsir.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, I've looked into that. I've also been looking to a lot of tafsirs and Tafsir Ibn Kathir. Like I've been looking at a lot of Sheikh Osman videos to look at that, but I'm just looking at that at the moment. But inshallah, I'm gonna look into more of that. But yeah, that's it for the Islamic video, Islamic books and stuff like that.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Sorry, I needed to blow my nose. All right, so the next question, brother says, this is true as well. That is not a question. Okay, so Sister Rivera asked how we first met. I'm trying to remember, bro. Did you reach out to me first, or I reach out to you first? I think I reached out to you, right?
Yeah, you reached out to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I saw you first. I'm trying to think of who, you know, the first time that I was introduced to you was actually with Brother Tortoise King, right? You did a live stream with him.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the first time that I was introduced to you. And you know, after I watched the live stream with you, I was like, I wanted to check out more from your channel, and then I started watching your videos, and I was like, wow, this brother's very intelligent. And I still can't believe that you're 19 years old, bro. You know, Sister Navira, I don't know if you know that. Do you know Sister Navira? Have you done a live with her?
Not yet. We've been talking about doing it. Like,
yes. Okay. That's why that was mentioned.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sister Navira is amazing. Wonderful sister, extremely knowledgeable as well. Such a strong deen, extremely inspiring. Every time that that I do a live stream with her, she really gets me thinking, and I always learn something. So if those who aren't subscribed to her, please go check her out and subscribe to her channel, inshallah. But yeah, you guys that will be an amazing live stream. I hope to catch that, inshallah. Yeah, see, she said I didn't know you were 19, bro. No, nobody does, man. You hold yourself like it's not just that, the beard and everything. Like you look like you could be my age. You look at least 25, bro. Seriously, at least 25.
Yeah.
I know that we're not the only ones that say this. You probably get it all the time, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, bro.
I mean, ironically as well, some of my close friends, they also have beards as well. So this is why I only have a few close friends from like back in school that are from that environment. So it's crazy.
Yo.
From closet. yeah, I am. No, it's a really awkward room. It's very small as well. So it looks like I'm in a basement, you know, in the desert.
No, it looks like she said, it looks like you're in like, I forget what I said. I asked you if you were in a dorm room, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks like you're in a very small dorm room or a closet, I guess. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I didn't expect that answer or that question. But yeah, so, you know, going forward, stay tuned, and, you know, we will keep you posted on when part 2 will be. Stay tuned for Brother Zeeshan, the real soldier of Allah, him and Sister Navira's live stream as well, inshallah. And I will have another live stream with Sister Navira coming as well, inshallah. You know, again, I just want to say thank you so much, brother. Thank you for everybody who came on. Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you so much for all the support. I love you all so much. Brother, do you want to leave them, end with anything?
Not really. I mean, that's it, to be fair. Remember to pray. That's one thing. Sometimes some people can forget, but always remember to pray.
Inshallah. I like that a lot, man. Always remember to pray your 5 fard salah every day. And don't forget to read the Quran every day. Even if you can only read a page or even a paragraph.
Right.
Doing this every day has helped me and strengthened my deen, and going to the Masjid is actually amazing too.
Right.
I cannot even begin to explain how much it has strengthened my deen. Inshallah, it's beautiful, really it is.
Yeah. Jummah tomorrow as well, so
yes, Jummah tomorrow.
Yeah.
Some of us right now, it probably already is Friday, so Jummah Mubarak to you. Anyways, like I said, please, if you are not already, please go subscribe. Check out Brother Zeeshan's channel, Real Soldier of Allah. And please, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe, hit that like button, share the stream, and hope to catch you all soon, inshallah. I hope you all have a wonderful Jummah tomorrow. You as well, brother. Jazakallahu khairan again for coming, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I love you all.